Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. How's life? How is everything? Let's see if Substack went live. Let's see if it's connected. Good. I can see it's connected. Forgive me for my can. Marcel Magnifique. Comment ça va, Marcel? Hello, hello, hello. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you smell me? Aurel, hello. So let's get back to us analyzing shape robotics. I'm trying to figure out the camera is okay. Today we got news from Thijs. So Monsieur Thijs has refused officially today the request for reconstruction submitted by the creditors. We have an important news to make to address this in front of you. So we have a list of supportive creditors that are led by us, of course, by the former Story Kids, which you all know that we have quite important open claim. So we hope to be able to convince the judge, as it should, that the company should be restructured and should go into reconstruction. This is the mandate that we have received from the shareholder. This was approved by a legally done EGM. I believe that it will be the correct outcome in the next 1 or 2 days. Hi, Wojtek. Unfortunately, Mr. Thijs has decided not to accept the reconstruction. This is a mandate from 4,800 shareholders, which Mr. Thijs today decided not to accept, and he wants to contest in court the reconstruction filing from the largest creditors. And I will show you exactly the proof, as usual, and how this happens and what he has done. For that reason, let me just open up. I don't know if Bo is connected. I think that he helped me to receive the document from court regarding this, and I made the translation as usual. So let me put the integral translation also up to grasps. 1 second. In the meantime, I see that a lot of you have connected. Hello again. Please ask me questions should you have it until I bring the translation on the screen. Okay. Okay, let's have it here because I translated it. Okay, perfect. Let's share the screen. Okay, so in main screen right now, we have the translation from the court today. So we received on 31st of April at 12 o'clock from the judge that is handling our case. We have received information that says that the court has received a petition for reconstruction proceedings together with annexes 1 and 8 concerning shape robotics in liquidation. The petition was filed by Elena Passat, represented by attorney Philip A. Boreschmidt, and was received on the 20th of April 2021. The petition included a proposal for the appointment of a reconstruction together with the declaration required under sections 238, 238.4 and 238.a of the Danish Bankruptcy Act. The court also received an email on the 20th of April from the liquidator attorney Thijs Gulitz Wormsley stated that in his capacity as liquidator, he cannot consent to the opening of reconstruction proceeding in respect to the company. No one appeared or was summoned to this session. Pursuant to the section 11.4, second sentence of the Bankruptcy Act, the court scheduled a hearing on the Monday of 11th of May 2026 at 9:30. Attorney Philip Boreschmidt, who also received the summons to the hearing, and Attorney Gulitz Wormsley were notified. The court notes that the hearing will be conducted in Danish. If an interpreter is required, the parties must themselves bring a certified interpreter. So guess what? The court has realized that if it's a Romanian, they need to have an interpreter. Very funky. We discussed yesterday a lot about this topic. Pursuant to the sections of the Administration Justice, the court orders Elena to have Annex 2, 3, 4, and 6 and 7 translated into Danish. We already did. The translated annexes are to be submitted to the court to the liquidator as promptly as possible. Transcript of this court record shall be sent to Attorney Philip Boreschmidt and Attorney Gulitz Wormsley and Mark Abraham via Bo K. Larson. Case is adjourned. So guys, this is the and this is the original document. I will add them as usual on the article today. It's very important to note something very technical. And so the company wishes a reconstruction. We have a mandate from the shareholders to do a reconstruction. That means that we have to have a procedure in which the claims against the company will be handled by a specialist reconstructor. This specialist reconstructor is selected by the creditors. There was a proposal for us for the court to select one. The court unfortunately didn't want to select one, so we have selected Mazanti Andersen to do this. This is a very serious legal company, one of the biggest in Denmark, very professional, and it was our recommendation that they should look into it. Very important, they do not represent me or anybody else. It's a specialized reconstructor, like in the case of Thijs, very experienced reconstructors that represent the interests of the creditors in whole. So the interest here is to reconstruct the company and to let it breathe and continue the activity. But unfortunately, Mr. Thijs wishes in his position as a certified liquidator not to agree with this, because basically if he would have agreed with this today, we would have started reconstruction today. And reconstruction, of course, resumes trading. Very important. So shareholders seem to be discredited day by day by Thijs. We don't understand what his interests are. For sure, we will find out. For sure, it will be very interesting in 11th of May. But unfortunately, we will not be able to resume trading or do any sort of activity till then. I repeat, reconstruction and is a solution that keeps the company alive. Liquidation and bankruptcy means closing the company. It is absurd. The shareholders have spoken on the 14th of April that they want to continue the company. So long story short, I'm not going to waste too much time on the topic then. Thijs is refusing. We go to court on 11. If we win in court on 11, Thijs is history. If he has any sort of and his history, and of course his exactly like Jorgen is asking, why does he refuse? Because he has to cover some of his mistakes, in my opinion. And again, this is a personal opinion. It's not any official wording that we receive. So Thijs just says he cannot consent to this. So it's obligating the judge, it's pushing on the judge to do the consent. So he doesn't have to give a refusal, he just does it, and that's it. That's Thijs. So this is a major blow for the company. Do you see it like that? No, it's not a major blow for the company. I think it's part of the plan. The shareholders have voted on the 14th that they want reconstruction. We have followed the will of the shareholder. Reconstruction will start either with Thijs or without Thijs in this situation. So I don't know how Thijs represents, basically he's a liquidator, so he's like taking care of the company like I would if we would have had everything in place with an auditor and everything. Now the court will appoint a reconstructor, and the reconstructor will take care of the needs of the creditors in due order and without any problem. So my expectations are that by the end of May, the company should be back on track. So I'm absolutely convinced at this moment that this is just a small, desperate attempt of Thijs to block and try to do the bankruptcy again. I have no idea what are his motives, but most likely he needs to fight till the end. I would say maybe it's about consistency, maybe it's about putting the decision in the hands of a judge and saying, the judge has said it and that's it. I have no idea what to say, honestly, but I don't want to speculate. I just say that we are following the wishes of the shareholders. We have voted for reconstruction, and reconstruction we should have, because shareholders are also very important in all this equation, and I would like to position ourselves as the representatives of the shareholders, and this is our mandate. So right now we push as hard as possible on the reconstruction because this is the will of the shareholders. So if Thijs blocks the will of the shareholders, then Thijs has to block the will of the shareholders. I don't think, Valentin, that probably works to fulfill Danske's agenda. I don't know what Danske's agenda is, because reconstruction will give money back to Danske. Bankruptcy will only give money back to Thijs. So I think that right now also their agendas diverge. I'm not sure that Danske has an agenda not to get the money. Because you need to understand something very simple. Thijs without Romania and the cooperation from the director of Romania that speaks in front of you today cannot do anything, cannot even pay his own bills. So what I'm trying to say is that cooperation goes both ways. So if he wants to be a liquidator and try to support the company and save it, I would cooperate with him. If he wants to be a reconstruction lawyer and wants to save the company for the shareholder as they are mandated, I would cooperate with him. If he wants to kill the company, then I won't cooperate with him. It's as simple as that. It's very simple. I think that they don't believe in the reconstruction and want to cut their losses. I don't understand what losses they want to cut, because the thing that they want to do is to increase their losses. It doesn't make too much sense. So the only thing that I consider as a strategic point is that by Thijs admitting today reconstruction, he would just confirm that he did a wrong assessment on the bankruptcy. Although I don't believe that is a direct consequence, okay? What I'm saying is that reconstruction for sure keeps the company alive. And it's the only chance of the company today after the destruction that Thijs did in the last 3 to 4 months. So very important for us all is that we remain only with this channel to communicate. So therefore the news that come are because Thijs, the first thing they did, they cut my access to the company communications. So I will continue, of course, here to inform you, and my focus would be in the next days to inform you and weeks on the process of the reconstruction and the plan. And I will focus, of course, on the most important aspect, and which is to try to figure out what we can do with one of the most important assets that we still have, is the contract with Bechle, where both Romania and Poland are alive. And I don't presume that he will try to fire me, although he could from these positions. but I will let you know. What happens if Thais refuses to hand over the documents that the assets after the reconstruction goes through on the 11th? He cannot, because he has to, it will be very, very weird because he's a court-appointed liquidator, so he has to go through court to do this. So the court will be very tough on him. You need to understand, Thais, in his role as curator during the bankruptcy proceeding, he could have played like a god, everything that he does is right, nobody cares, you saw the behavior, okay? As a liquidator, it's not like that. He's not protected by anything. So as liquidator, he has the same obligations and same more or less mandate like I would. So that's what I was saying, that for me it's very nice that he is in the position where he has to protect the assets of the company, because I simply don't have to stress myself with day-to-day operations that are that require a lot of pressure, especially during the reconstruction. So I would say that right now he made me very, very happy. Wojtek playing the devil's advocate, what would be his arguments in front of the court to convince the court not to go with reconstruction, assuming his motivation is to cover his mistake? He would not have a motivation against the reconstruction. He will have a motivation against he will try to contest the value of the claims that want reconstruction. So he will try to attack individually every claimant that wants reconstruction, including the shareholders that want it through a mandate. So he cannot vote against the reconstruction. He can always attack the reconstruction by attacking the claims of the creditors. So it's a very shallow type of defense. Okay, so we believe this is the strategy that he will use, or he just wants the court to appoint it and then waits for the waits till 11 and allows the court to appoint it officially, not to be him, so to take like some sort of a court appointment that he can always say, it's not me, it's the court that decided to do this. I don't know if it makes sense what I'm saying, Wojtek. I truly believe he's also afraid of making more mistakes that he has done. So if I was him, I would go to court, and so that's what we should do, because admitting, Wojtek, to reconstruction is admitting you did bad during the bankruptcy. And if he loses the court battle and the court decides to put us in reconstruction by their own decision, then it's out of his hands, and he can say, I will respect the decision of the court. So it makes sense at a certain level, because we can imagine that he has the longer this goes on, the longer Thais keeps his job. What job? As liquidator? This is not a job. This is an obligation. He's a court appointed. He doesn't get any money out of this. He gets 50,000 crowns. That's the salary he received from the court as a court appointed liquidator, and he has to protect the assets of the company. So now, knowing that the company goes into reconstruction, so yeah, it's the longer he goes on. Look, his job in Kronman Reumert. Why do you think his job in Kronman Reumert is problematic? I don't believe he should have any problems in Kronman Reumert. No, honestly, this is according to plan. That's what I wanted to say. It's our plan. It's always been our plan, but I want you to understand what is the interest to destroy Shape? Why? What is there to be buried? I'm wondering what the heck I'm missing, because it seems like some people are playing their careers here, with all the media noise and everything that is surrounding Shape. All these mistakes, you saw also today, I don't know if you saw the nuance, but the judge has already, the same judge that didn't give me my right to have a translator, now writes it officially in a summon that to make sure that we can have a translator. So she agrees today that she committed a mistake yesterday. Why would you do that? For me, I don't know. Honestly, I don't want to sound rude or anything, but it looks like unprofessional from many. I don't know. What do you think, guys? What could be the explanation? That, at least from my point of view, I find it very hard to process. Very hard to process. What do you think? It's mind blowing, to be honest with you. I don't know. Maybe I don't know, Valentin. Where do you live, in Romania or Denmark? Because, for instance, if you go to court yesterday, I was talking about, if you go to court in Romania, it's usually you have to, the procedure for taking an oath is quite complex. So first of all, you have to put your hand on the Bible. If you don't believe in God, you have to swear that you will tell the truth. So it's not really you would notice that something like that is happening, So I find it very absurd that at the level of Denmark today, such a advanced country, that you fall to procedure like this. And of course, I will stand strong on this procedural aspects, because I believe that they are extremely relevant for justice in general. I don't want to exaggerate, but if you come to Romania, Valentina, and as a Danish citizen, and you go to court, would you like to have your oath taken without a proper procedure and a proper translator? I'm just wondering. Jorgen, what do you think? And it's not even like the judge says. So the accord between Romania and Denmark at least states that the court would like to have will have to announce the embassy when they have a Romanian coming over to because this is a service that the embassy gives for free, the translation service. So I find it at least confusing, and I don't really understand what is the motive why you want to block it. Anyways, like I said, I would have Thijs as the lawyer of Danske Bank, which is again another crazy story, because Thijs plays as lawyer of Danske Bank, then as a liquidator, then as a trustee. Then he's like, why does he want at his level to do all these things? It beats my mind. It's crazy, to say the least, his behavior. But we'll just accept that he does what he does and we do what we do. Honestly, if it was for me on this, in his situation, I would not like it at all, because he has very few avenues of contesting this. They didn't have money to hire a second lawyer. Why second lawyer? Valentin, a second lawyer in Kroman Reumert? He has a big team now. There is a different person that is in charge of the case right now, I believe. But I don't know what their interests are. I simply fail to understand, because if the reconstruction, they got ties to I don't know. I simply don't know. It seems that Thijs is like the one that has a lot of loose here. He is a bully in this equation. He plays like a very aggressive bully, the whole scenario, honestly. But we will see. We will see what we can get out of this one. For sure, the company will have a huge claim against Thijs. That's for sure. And yeah, it's only good when he plays like that. So I prefer that he does desperate mistakes. But on the other hand, for the shareholders not to respect their decision of restructuring, I find this is not really acceptable. Since the 14th of it's like we are not a publicly listed company. It's like they behave like it's a small limited liability company from the backyard. That's my feeling. Yeah, good. So just to recap, very strong position, restructuring, following the rules of the engagement, with the request of the shareholders, with power from the shareholders, strong legal team. Bring it on, Thijs. What can I say? It's your life. It's not mine. I don't do anything right now that will change my behavior or will change my commitment towards the shareholders. It's a full commitment to the shareholders. We'll try to do what you asked. And that's what I have done from day one. Thijs just wants to destroy the company and get some money. Stupid, if you believe. It's stupid. I don't know who has the interest here and who. Most likely, I will try to speculate on a single point because I believe that has something to do with Carnegie. And I will let you think about it, because the only party that stands to gain out of this would be Carnegie. Lars Stockholm, okay, in this situation. That's what I think. Yeah. Good, guys. So I think that is enough for today. You all understood quite well what we are doing. Now it's we inform the newspapers. I don't expect that the newspapers will will have any sort of coverage when it's a positive thing. But we are following on the restructuring. That's the message, and we are following strong. And Thijs is disagreeing, so he's officially refusing the mandate that the company received from the shareholders, and he is following as liquidator in my footsteps. So he has to follow on the requests of the shareholders. So, long story short, the guy doesn't like you guys. Have a very good evening. Ciao.